A rogue is 100% pay to win, but I do have just a little bit of good news here. The currency that we're going to be using in order to pay to win, actually just going to be the in-game currency of coins. A rogue is going to be a deck that's going to maximize our ability to be able to generate those coins, and it's going to provide us maximum possible payoffs to be able to use those coins to create a win condition. The 3 win conditions that we have packed into this deck are going to be Aya herself, the Lotus Kingpin. This will allow us to upgrade our coins. We have some various options that are going to come into play with this, and the one that we pick may actually vary from game to game, but we have Jade Golems that increase in size, deal 2 damage to a random enemy minion. Likely never going to be using this, but it is an option. And then we can also pick the Cabal coin just to be able to get a random 1-cost Kazakus potion. Next up, we are going to have Vanessa the Ringleader as a win condition. The card did get nerfed, but we can prepare it, and then we have a metric ton of coins to be able to generate additional minions, and basically we're going to be generating discounted minions, Battlecry minions that cost 2 less, kind of impersonate Mug Shaman a little bit, basically just cheating a lot of mana. Then we're also going to have Ashmain as a win condition here. Basically, it just allows us to take a bunch of cards out of our opponent's deck, or rather copy cards out of our opponent's deck. They'll be discounted by 3 each, and that's going to allow us to be able to once again cheat mana. So really the theme for the entire deck is just cheating mana through coins, through Aya, through Vanessa, and through Ashmain as well. So we have lots of ways to be able to take those coin synergies and turn them into a win condition. Taking a look at the rest of the list, the ways that we're going to have to be able to generate coins, we're always going to be going second thanks to Aya, so that is going to be 1 guaranteed coin. We have a couple of copies of Lotus Bookie for additional coins, also 2 Agent of the Old Ones to be able to create coins, 1 copy of Deadly Bribe. This allows us to kill an enemy minion and get a coin if we combo this card. And then we're also going to be running Time Admiral Hooktail. This is going to put the treasure chest on our opponent's side of the board, and when we break that treasure chest, we are actually going to be able to fill our hand with coins. Could be a lot of coins if we have a very small hand size, and hopefully we will have one of our win conditions in hand to be able to take advantage of all of those coins. And then we're also going to be running 2 copies of Garona's Last Stand, largely just to target the chest that is going to be coming out of the Admiral Hooktail. This is going to be a legendary minion that's going to be destroyed by the Garona's Last Stand. We've actually found a Demon Hunter on the ladder. Really was not expecting that. Going to toss, I think, both of those. What else would I want? I'm keeping Vanessa. I think I would probably just want like a Lotus Bookie. Gonna keep the Vanessa, toss the rest. Let's see what we can find here. I do manage to hit a Curator as well. Curator will guaranteed draw Time Admiral Hooktail. It is just a little bit slow though. We're gonna need to determine what type of Demon Hunter we're up against. Not a whole lot of Demon Hunters on the ladder, so we don't have a lot of information to be able to make an educated guess. We're just going to have to try to figure it out as our opponent plays cards. I think the most likely deck that our opponent would be playing would just be like a Void Soul Demon Hunter. Even though that archetype has been nerfed, I do think some people are still playing it. Unfortunately, we don't learn anything from the turn 1 here. And I think I'm just going to get out a Spy Mistress. I'm going to save Agent of the Old Ones for when I play Vanessa the Ringleader. There's a lot of times where you can actually just get a Battlecry minion that you're not really interested in keeping, turn it into a coin, and be able to go again for a bigger Vanessa turn. Could even consider just transforming the Curator, as the only thing this card actually does is draw Hooktail and Ashmain. We don't necessarily need that, simply because I'm just going to Hero Power here. I think I actually leave this in Stealth. The damage is irrelevant. I don't think our opponent would use Broxigar's Last Stand just to kill 1 minion, so I'm going to pass here, be able to use this to trade for something on the board. Next turn, likely just going to prepare the Vanessa, and then that following turn, so they do Broxigar for 2. I'm going to prepare the Vanessa, and then I'm going to pass it back. So next turn, I can go Vanessa, coin, I've got 2 Agent of the old ones, and we do see it is going to be Void Soul Demon Hunter, so I'm just going to try to make a really big board with the Vanessa and maybe just win the game here. I'm going to go for the Vanessa. Start off with a coin. This is a little bit of an APM turn. I'm not... actually, Cragwall can return a lot of coins next turn. So I think I'm just going to turn my Curator into a coin. Not a lot of coins, but it can return coins next turn. Free hero power is nice. Be able to pick a card to put on top of my opponent's deck. I don't want them to have the Eternal Hold. I guess I'll give them an Axe of Cenarius. A little bit of an interesting deck from our opponent. I'm just going to go ahead and prep a Ritual of Twilight. And Forest Gift is actually really interesting. I can just buff my Vanessa. So I will transform this into a coin. And play that coin. And likely just play the Forest Gift on the Vanessa. Just to try to be able to protect it for an additional turn here. We'll see what our opponent comes up with. We have a lot of power on the board. The Vanessa may not even die. And I have a lot of spells that I can actually get back. More than I actually have hand space for with the Cragwall. See what our opponent can do here. The big Vanessa turn may have actually just won the game. And we may even have lethal. I mean, even if they play like the 3/4 taunt, Violet Punisher will remove the taunt. I can give a minion 4 additional attack. That would put us to 23, opponent at 27. We do know that they've drawn, I believe I put, it was the Axe of Cenarius that I put on the top of their deck. They have drawn that for some healing, but it's not super great here. And I think our opponent has maybe just rage quit because the Vanessa turn was just a little too strong. This is turn 4, by the way, and Vanessa was actually nerfed a couple of patches ago, but you can see here, with all the coins, even just a couple of coins can actually be enough to just purchase a win in Hearthstone in these particular days. So not a whole lot else to be able to do here. I'm just going to damage this 2/3 to be able to push maximum damage. I do think my opponent has most likely left, and we can see here now that they are just going to be gone. Didn't want to damage my Vanessa because it would have made it easier for my opponent to kill it. Maybe they disconnected, came back, could have still been in the game in some way. So I don't want to take any chances. Just go ahead and make the smartest possible play, even if it looks like your opponent has, you know, rage quit, disconnected, or whatever that case might look like. Sometimes you'll actually see your opponent reconnect, and then you've kind of been goofing off, and then you'll end up losing the game and feeling really, really silly. Looks like we're up against Priest. I'm going to keep the Rite of Twilight. And it feels like a lot of people are playing different types of stuff. I don't know if you would consider that refreshing or not. I'm not really excited about playing against a Priest. I think I would rather still just play Hunters, Rogues, and Shaman. Especially considering this is a 40 health Priest. Not necessarily my favorite type of game to be able to play, but we're going to see if we can work a little bit of magic here. Find a way to be able to win this game. I don't think the 20 cards that they've taken from our deck are going to benefit them very much. Just going to go ahead and take a trade here. I guess it depends on which 20 they get, like how many coins, and then they get any of our bigger minions that take advantage of the coins. But it's possible that they just have a bunch of garbage from our deck. And if we get down like an Ash main, then we would copy things that we could actually potentially still just use. And I'm going to equip the weapon. And I think I do just want to go ahead and swing here. Not necessarily because I'm interested in the damage, but because I'm interested in the death rattle of being able to draw a card. I need to get to one of my win conditions, likely as quickly as possible this game. They get the King Lane out of their hand. So I'm just going to attack again. Go ahead and draw an additional card. And then I'll do this. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and play the Rite of Twilight here as well. And we'll likely just be taking a random Druid card off of this, but no reason to spend this just yet. The 0 mana card would combine quite nicely with a Vanessa just to be able to generate some additional value. The prepared card, I'm assuming, is going to be a Soothsayer. Could potentially just use a Deadly Bribe to remove it. What I really need here, I'm going to go ahead and prep out a Fan of Knives. I just need, like, additional card draw. I guess I will go ahead and take a random Druid card. Is a little bit interesting. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and push the damage phase here. There's a world where we can get our opponent low and just kill them, maybe even with just, like, Kazakus potions off of the Aya. Assuming they're going to play a Soothsayer this turn, we'll be able to remove it with a Deadly Bribe. They are going to heal for 6 and summon a minion. And I actually hope that they attack with this, because it's pretty likely that we draw something that we would really want to draw when we start to think about our win conditions. And we actually do hit an Aya. Likely going to play this next turn. So I can, like, prep out a Deadly Bribe to get an additional coin to go along with the Aya. And then I need to decide, is it Kazakus potions, or is it actually just going to be Jade Guardians this game? Lots of Jade Guardians with lots of coins. Be pretty interesting as they get bigger and bigger. Question is going to be, like, how quickly can I create those? That's a little bit unfortunate. I'm going to see what I can find in my deck. I think I actually just like the Kingslayers for myself. So I'm going to go ahead and equip that. I'll take the Curator next for some additional card draw. And then I'm just going to go ahead and bite the bullet. Take the 9 damage here. It's going to clear the board. I also hit an Ashmane. So things are looking really interesting now. I have lots of options in terms of how I want to be able to use my coins. I kind of need to be able to dump my hand a little bit. Likely just going to get the... can't even really get the Aya in play because there will be 2 coins that I don't get. Opponent choosing to just play a 4/6. Get a treasure chest on the board. I really wonder how much they can actually take advantage of this in terms of what they have to go along with it. So I think I just want to get some cards out of my hand this turn. I mean, I could equip this and then play the Aya. Destroy this weapon. Maybe that's actually just fine. And go for some Kazakus potions. Kazakus potions are easily dumpable as well. I think I am just going to do that. We'll find a way to address the board with the Kazakus potions here. We will go for this option. We'll see what we can do. I'm going to go ahead and spend all of these coins. Get full options in my hand. Summon a friendly minion. Deal 2 all. Deal 2 all. Freeze a minion and draw a card. Its face. Go ahead and get this out of my hand as well. And I roped it out just a little bit there. Was probably just going to end up playing this, or it was this one. Summon a friendly minion that died and gained 4 armor. But we do have our opponent's entire board frozen. I'll be able to summon a treasure chest for my opponent. And at some point I'm going to be able to kill that treasure chest, be able to get a bunch more coins with a lot more Kazakus potions to go along with it. Do have a lot of armor gain. And potentially just clear my opponent's board as well. Look and see what we pick up. Agent of the Old Ones. I mean, I'm gonna start by giving my minions some health. And then I'm gonna deal 2. And I'm just gonna go ahead and deal 2 again. Make sure that I remove that totem. Swing in like that, do this. And I think I just want to dump cards out of my hand, to be honest. Not the greatest, and I don't need the Curator anymore, so I'm going to turn that into a coin. Again, just trying to dump cards out of my hand. I'm going to save that. So next turn, I could have saved that coin just to be able to Ashmane next turn. Be able to get some cards out of my opponent's deck. That might have actually been a better play. Might have played just a little bit too fast there. Opponent randomly created a 4 damage AoE. Created by Voodoo Totem. So a little bit unfortunate there for me. They're also going to have quite a lot of coins here at some point. I mean, I can clear the board just with this Kazakus potion. And I can actually just, like, fill my hand with coins. I would probably rather Ashmane next turn. If I do this now, I can remove it, and I would actually have 8 coins. But then I would also have 8 potions. If I ever kill them with just the 8 potions? Probably not. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. I do need to be just a little bit fast now because probably in danger of roping just a little bit. Don't want to attack with my hero because this is going to break and it's going to draw a card. Because of all minions that died. For 1 coin. For another coin. Probably could have played that turn quite a bit better. I was thinking about what was going to be the best way. I mean, I can play all these coins next turn, dump the 1-cost spells, and then still play the Ashmane. It's going to allow me to be able to cheat a lot of mana, and hopefully be able to kill my opponent. Corona gets burned. I'm not super concerned about it, to be quite honest. Maybe even use this for an additional coin. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coins. Dump the 1-cost potions. Wow, and a 40-card deck opponent has... Do they also have the location? They do not. It would have been nice to be able to clear up the Medivh, but I'm going to go ahead and just play all of my coins. Likely going to be playing all of my potions here as well. 3 and 2, 2 to all and gain armor. Damage, damage. Do that. 2 to all and gain armor. Shoot to the face. Deal 3, summon a friendly minion. Don't really want to draw a card here. I'm just going to go ahead and Ashmane at this point. Roping once again, just a little bit unfortunate. Got the tradable. I'm going to end up burning another card. Do get a Vanessa in hand. Also have the Karazhan Sanctum in hand. Opponent actually top decks their own copy, and it's free because they have AAECAaIHCt. So this is where the game is a little bit complicated, and they're going to fill their hand. I should be able to have a huge... I mean, I'll be able to kill this with a free Garona's Last Stand. I'm going to be able to refill my hand with the Vanessa here. Opponents, I think those are actually pretty good minions. I'm going to hit them with the Well Played on that one. Feels like their turns are significantly easier than mine. I have so many decisions to make because of the amount of cards that are in my hand. And unfortunately, this just heals them for 16. It's absolutely absurd. But it is what it is. So we're going to get down to Vanessa. Go ahead and destroy that guy. Rustrot Viper destroys the weapon. We don't mind that at all. Not super interested in Tolvir. Fill your board with random dragons, fully heal your hero, and skip your next turn. I don't really like the look of that. Go ahead and do this. Freeze on the perfect target. No dark gifted minions. At this point I'm probably just spamming the board with whatever I can find. Ultraxian. We'll pass turn again, so that's going to be another burn. Only 5 cards left in the deck. Opponent is going to heal up to 32. Really disappointing that they were able to get board clear with the Moonwell. So at this point, I think the game is lost. I can probably just concede my way out of it. Always disappointing when Priest has these really powerful plays in a 40-card deck. I mean, they drew the triple fabled card, and they absolutely high-rolled the location here. So just going to go ahead and get out of this game. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to make anything happen here. And you can see I did a lot of roping and probably a significant amount of misplays. You get so many cards in your hand, and you have such a short amount of time to determine what the best line is, but that's where the fun of this particular deck comes from. Also, it's where the power of this particular deck is going to be coming from. Up against Rogue this time, I'm assuming it's 2-mana Rogue. CL they are appropriately named. I've played this person quite a few times in the past, and they are definitely lucky, so I'm fully expecting to get high-rolled. Thinking about that last game against the Priest, I think that was actually a game that I probably would have been better off going for the Jade Guardians off of the Aya. Could have gone for Jade Guardians. I had tons of value because I had Ashmane as well as Aya. That was a Viper, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and tempo out the Spy Mistress. And I think it's pretty easy. I just want to kill this and make sure that my opponent can't draw from it. So I'm just going to fan and trade. Opponent plays second. Do I just want to fan and Rite of Twilight here? I would have to use my only coin. But I think there's a lot of value in like shutting down the card draw from our opponent. Ashmane is the pickup, and I'm going to go ahead and make the play like this. Judgment is also interesting. Potentially I can just drop down, like, if I can get a wider board, and then like drop a Garona and play a Judgment. Things can get pretty interesting here. Garona's Last Stand. Just need to draw for something in my deck. It's going to be a Rite of Twilight. Army of the Dead. I'm just going to go ahead and get the Shadow of Demise in hand, push 1 damage. So our opponent is very quickly going to be making large 8-drops. Curator will only draw 1 in this situation. And I have a Garona's Last Stand. I do kind of need to dump some cards out of my hands. My hand is just a little bit too expensive here, unfortunately. Hopefully our opponent has not been able to get into their Jade Guardians. They will be free 8-cost minions. Slow motion is a little bit frustrating here. Kingslayer's going to be the pickup. Probably just need to go for the coin chest. Makes sense. I mean, I've got the Garona's Last Stand to be able to delete the chest, so I can spend 5 mana, Garona's Last Stand, and then I'll be able to like play my coins. Maybe I can even get down like an Ashmane play this particular turn. And we'll see if our opponent has Jade Guardians. They do not have it yet. And it looks like they actually just don't have it, so I think we paid off in the early game by killing the Escape Artist and not allowing our opponent to be able to draw. Unless they have double coin, we do not. So, going to I'm going to play the Army of the Dead. Let's go ahead and take a couple of trades. And I can Agent of the Old Ones. On the Black Paw Whip. Go ahead and play that coin. Rona's Last Stand. Gonna get down another bookie, and then I am just going to prepare my judgment. So next turn I can coin Ashmane. If my board sticks, I could even just play a Garona and judgment the Garona to be able to create a lot of 5/4s. And there's also Aya. If I go Aya, would be 18 on board to be able to push face. 6/3s aren't great. And I'm assuming this means that the board is going to be dying thanks to the Death Chiller. It actually doesn't. I draw a King Lane. I mean, their stuff is going to be like super cheap if I just play the Ashmane here. So I'm going to go ahead and get down the Ashmane. And I actually hit 2 copies of Jade Guardians, which is pretty incredible to think about. I'll be able to go ahead and destroy their weapon. Trade the coin into here. Coin. And I'll be able to get down 1 8-drop. And I think I just remove this, go ahead and get down this guy, push face. And I can go ahead and play the King Lane just to get it out of my hand. And I'll pass it back to my opponent. Asina's actually close to being active. I'm going to have a second Jade Guardians, so I can actually just play 3 additional very large minions. So now at this point, thanks to the Ashmane, I'm actually playing their deck. And I'm a little ahead of where they are. I do still have the Judgment as well with, like, big minions on the board. So they kind of need a taunt off of the Jade Guardians. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to spam the board with my own very large minions here. That's not going to be a taunt. They can remove 1 minion And it looks like it's going to be lethal unless they can remove something else. And actually it is just going to be lethal, so I will do this. Then I am going to equip my weapon. I'm just going to start punching my opponent in the face here. So a few coins enough to be able to buy a win in this particular game as well. I will say for me personally, it's pretty satisfying to win a game against somebody that emotes as much as my opponent did. I think people do that sometimes to try to get in your head, to make you angry, and make you not think straight when you're playing cards. And especially when a person is a well-known high roller, as I feel like this particular player is. Played them quite a lot, no ill will towards them. But I've been high rolled by them quite a few times in the past. So things that we did very well this game, I think, would be that we killed the 2 escape artists before they could attack. That reduced our opponent's ability to draw cards, and because of that, their Jade Guardians came really, really late. If we had allowed those escape artists to attack early in the game, they would have gotten the Jade Guardian 2 turns ago, and the game would have looked a lot different. We could have potentially lost. So I think you can always go through with this particular deck and nitpick, did I make the correct plays? There's so many cards in hand, so many options. The coins give us so much additional mana. You would have to play this deck a lot in order to get good at it. There's just so many decisions that have to be made, but it's a really, really fun deck. In terms of raw power level of the deck, I don't think this is going to be one of the best decks in the meta. This is more of what I would call a for fun deck. So I would say definitely, don't go out and like craft Aya. It's not really a good card, at least not right now. But this is a deck that you can play if you just want to mix things up and play something different in Hearthstone. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.